Alright, what is this? LinkedIn is everything wrong with society. I'm proud to have been fired. Honestly, kind of based. LinkedIn intern 2 hours ago, over 350 applications, 7 years experience. Almost said 6, 7.
LinkedIn is the worst social media platform ever made. You see, maybe you're just searching for a job, or you might just be trying to do some networking. Whatever you're trying to get out of it, LinkedIn is sure to disappoint.
Yes.
Trying to use it to actually get a job is completely soul-crushing, especially for new graduates.
Yep.
You've spent years on your education,
I remember trying to get a job after COVID, and I got rejected, I think a total of like 50 times. And that's nothing, by the way. 50 times is like nothing compared to other people, so I've heard. At least in my area.
A way to eventually get qualified for a good
I got a job, to be
then
honest.
You can't find a job. No matter how hard you try, you just get strung along by multi-stage interviews and flaky recruiters. That's where LinkedIn comes in. With its monthly subscriptions and promises.
Yeah, instead of rookie recruiters and stupid recruiters, you just get filtered by AI.
Of a way into the professional world, the platform preys on the hopeful. You can spend months or even years looking for a job on the platform, slowly losing your savings and your sanity as the never-ending search drags on. The worst part is, it doesn't seem like there's an alternative anymore. Today, the site is full of empty corporate bragging, AI-written slop and con artists. Making a real connection with your connections is very rare, but you've got to try and deal with this all to try and break into lots of industries. The site's full of posts like this. This woman is making up stories about how her LinkedIn follow account finally won her daughter's respect. All of that just to sell her book and brag online. Millions
That's fucking evil.
of these posts pollute the site every day.
Oh my
and the
God,
people making them
what?
have no idea how cringeworthy they are. But surprisingly, that's not the worst part about LinkedIn. It isn't the scam recruitment messages or the humble brags.
And it's all like, it's all ChatGPT generated crap being posted over and over again, and it's just the same shit because AI doesn't create, it just like takes and learns what you should say, and then they repeat each other, and then it scans it, and then it regurgitates it yet again.
Or even the CEO is posting crying selfies after firing people. The worst part is...
What? Are you serious? This is the most performative shit ever. What?
Firing people. The worst...
Crying pictures after firing people. Do you know what would be funny? Do you know what would be funny? If this was AI generated, they're like, hey, can you generate me crying?
The worst part is that sooner or later, you're forced to join in. In the corporate world, you're massively missing out if you don't adopt a fake persona, fill your profile with inspirational quotes, and pretend that you live for the rat race.
What?
If you don't dance the dance, then...
Dance! 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 Dance, monkey, dance! You want a job, you gotta want it!
then your career could suffer. You might have spent countless hours on the site sending out applications and bashing your head against the brick wall of the modern jobs market. But unfortunately for lots of people, it's unavoidable. Today, LinkedIn is a key part of the modern corporate workplace. The culture on the platform is just a reflection of what's going on in offices around the world. But as we'll find out, it's also played a role in creating that culture in the first place. And it's all thanks to a man named Reid Hoffman. Now, Hoffman is up there with the biggest names in tech. He lives and breathes Silicon Valley. But unlike other tech billionaires, Hoffman never relied on his image to get ahead. Instead, people knew him as the man with the connections. In the wake of the dot-com bubble...
And that's the problem. If you want a job that isn't like soul-crushing and ball-draining, you have to know someone to get in. Especially in smaller countries. Like in America... I think there's slightly more job opportunities, like, but for example, like in Australia and New Zealand, if you want to get a job in like quote unquote journalism or like writing for a magazine, you think nepotism is bad in America? It is a million times worse in other countries. I know it sounds like it's not real, but it is.
In the early
Nepo hiring
2000s,
is so bad.
he was the guy everyone wanted to know in Silicon Valley. If he saw potential in you or your company, then he had 1,000 big names he could introduce you to. A large part of this was thanks to his prominent position at PayPal.
Of course. One of the biggest moneymakers in the world. That's crazy. I would have never guessed.
People always remember Elon Musk and Peter Thiel from the PayPal mafia, but it was actually Hoffman pulling the strings in the background. Thiel gets the credit for being one of the first investors in Facebook, for example, but it was Hoffman who actually brokered the meeting and introduced him to Mark Zuckerberg. While all of this contributed to his fortune, it wasn't what made him who he is today. Instead, Reed took his focus on connections and turned it into a product. In the late 90s, Hoffman had been involved with one of the first social media networks called socialnet.com. It failed, but the experience taught him valuable lessons about virality and how to get a platform off the ground. A few years later, Hoffman was already rich on PayPal money,
but he needed more money. He needed more money and more clout.
Silicon Valley he needed, but he saw an opportunity. While other entrepreneurs were busy messing around with generic social networks, he was going to create one for the corporate world. When it launched in 2003, LinkedIn was very simple. It was basically a way for you to put your resume online and connect it to other people. Hoffman wasn't even the first to think of the idea, but his connections and business sense meant he had the head start he needed. He had a two-stage plan for growth, which he later explained in a 2014 interview with Sam Altman. The first part revolved around getting the very first users on board. For this, Hoffman could just use his growing Silicon Valley connections.
How did you get the first million?
It's just terrifying, like how one person can control everything, man.
The first 1,000 users for LinkedIn.
So first 1,000 was easy. We just sent out invitations.
The site
it makes you look exclusive, and then that exclusivity draws in the peasants.
Picked up momentum as other big names in Silicon Valley quickly joined in, but it still wasn't nearly enough. Hoffman had to tap into a very human fear. It's kind of
like how Twitter was at first for like celebrities and stuff, and then everybody else started using it. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Missing out. He needed people to think that everyone they knew was on the site, that they would be left behind if they didn't join in, that their careers would just be overshadowed by everyone else. This was where stage 2 came in, mining people's address books.
Probably the key thing that we innovated, and we were the first people to do this, that then caused the growth curve to change, was upload your address book and see who else you knew was in LinkedIn.
Hoffman is only showing people half the picture here. He's leaving.
And again, it's like Twitter, but for like business freaks, you know? You know they get freaky behind closed doors, right?
Out how all of this really worked. LinkedIn might never have succeeded if they didn't start pushing their own plugin for Outlook. It seemed simple to the first users. It told them it would just take all of their existing email contacts and check if they were on LinkedIn. Then the site would ask users if they wanted to invite other people. It was deliberately vague, making it seem like they could already be on the site and that you were just sending a friend request. Instead though, people would...
You know what that reminds me of? People sending you friend requests or like requests to play, what is it called? Like Farmville. Like you wouldn't be playing Farmville, they're like, hey, send your friend a heart, please. It's the same principle.
Accidentally send out mass emails to the whole address book inviting them all to LinkedIn. Even though it did take around 3 emails on average for someone to join the platform, the sheer volume of invitations was enough and LinkedIn grew like a weed. Tactic worked, and their initial growth projections were incredibly ambitious, but LinkedIn still surpassed them by more than double. Imagine how much better LinkedIn would be today if it just still looked like an address book. You wouldn't have to wade through the knee-high quagmire of scam artists and useless posts. You could just connect with the people you needed to. And
but that doesn't make money. Having a simple, function doesn't make money. You gotta get that money in somehow.
Directly to the source. The job market would be far simpler and you wouldn't need to spend 40 hours a week applying to jobs just to have a slim chance. Things would still be hard, but they would be a whole lot easier as well. But to monetize his product as much as he could, Hoffman had to go beyond these societal constraints. He had to push people's psychology further. To do this, he hacked into the same fear of missing out that the site.
You can't get away from FOMO. Like you are a little wage slave and you get reminded of how much you have to work and miss out on joining LinkedIn and other sites in order to get a job. You can't get away from it, man. It's so evil.
Had used to grow,
They do this in
offering
fucking
people who
video
paid
games and
further reach than the
events.
people who didn't. By
What the hell is FOMO? Fear of missing out. It's a very basic psychology, usually done with products like sales and it's like basically like a really I wouldn't say evil, because it's like, you know, you can't have product out all the time. Like, at the core of what FOMO is with like marketing, you can't have product out all the time. You have to swap it out depending on season and this and that. But what they've done is that it's manipulative at this point, because you don't really have FOMO. They're doing it on purpose so that you feel like you have to buy it now.
2005, just 2 years after launch, LinkedIn then rolled out their
The way they
in-mail
do it now is
service.
evil,
For a
but
monthly
originally
fee,
it wasn't.
People could go beyond the people they had connected with and send spam messages to tons more people. They could
Yeah.
even message people over 3 degrees of separation away from them, friends of friends of friends. Their press release even admits that most of these messages wouldn't get replies, but people still ate it up anyway. And so this was the beginning of LinkedIn's monetization. Today, it's grown to astronomical levels. $30.
I didn't even know, man. I remember when LinkedIn was like free. Like, I had to help my dad make a LinkedIn and he didn't have to pay shit. Now everything is fucking paywalled.
A month for individuals. The way
Yeah, I
they
was
sell
helping
it
him
is
set up his
talent,
LinkedIn.
dangling stats about how much more likely you are to get a job. Really?
It's like Tinder. Tinder does this too. They're like, oh, well, if you pay $15 a month, you can get more matches and more swipes, so you're more likely to find your true love. It's so evil.
If you have a job, you don't need the subscription, so it's in their interest to keep you searching. Over time, LinkedIn would slowly create higher tiers and more ways for people to do this, adding in premium plus accounts,
I thought it was
business
still free.
accounts,
I
all
didn't
sorts
know
of
it was
layers and
costing
artificial
$60,
restrictions
man.
in the way of what the site used to do for free. It's just the classic startup strategy.
And shitification. DoorDash did this. Uber did this. A bunch of other things that used to be kind of relatively free, or at least it wasn't like as heavy in monetization. They've pushed it so far because people are desperate. Yeah. Great problems sell solutions. MMOs do this too. Yeah, basically.
Start out with a
Yeah, Uber
good
did
system
this.
supported by investor
We talked
cash,
about
then
it.
make it worse while squeezing the user base for money once you've got them hooked. LinkedIn grew fast, so Hoffman could start this process quickly. First to 1,000, then to 1 million, then quickly to 100 million users in the space of a few years. But even at this early stage, LinkedIn was already starting to embrace ideas from other social
This
media
is 2003, man. It's crazy. I remember when Facebook was just like a place where you could like play little flash games and get poked by your grandma. my grandma, when she was still alive, she would still send me pokes. It's kind of cute now that I think about it, but yeah, I don't know. My grandma's not around anymore, but yeah, like it used to be like a lot more wholesome, you know?
platforms. In 2007, for example, they
Yeah.
began to build infrastructure for people to upload professional photos for their profiles. It was a small and necessary step for the site, but it still watered down the initial goal of LinkedIn,
Yep.
being solely dedicated to making business connections. Pictures of smiling professional people helped create the impression that LinkedIn was popular and worth joining, while slightly
German.
lowering the amount of actually useful information on the site. Later in 2012, LinkedIn pivoted away from connections almost entirely. They then began letting people follow other accounts just like Twitter. At first, it was just for a
And again, 2012 was when it all started. That's when businessmen came into like video games and the internet. Like they came in all in force.
few select people like big CEOs or politicians. They could also make their own posts talking about personal stories, or their tips for business, or whatever else was on their mind. But pretty soon it extended to everyone. People were pushed towards treating the site like a sanitized corporate version of Twitter. That same year, they also let people add more pictures, videos, and other personal branding onto their profiles. The platform was now starting to look a lot more like Instagram and Twitter. The reasons were obvious.
Yeah, because it makes money to rage bait and to like get clicks. I mean, I don't know how bad the rage bait is on LinkedIn. I'm not like I'm not a weirdo that like has checked LinkedIn in the last like 5 years, but yeah.
Like other social media sites, engagement was king for LinkedIn, and they wanted people spending as much time on the platform as possible.
Yeah.
This meant hiding the old, bare-bones professional parts of the site, replacing it with more content and visual elements instead. The incentives of getting rewarded with actual benefits like professional connections and job offers quickly moved onto the site itself. No longer was this about getting rewarded with actual benefits like professional connections.
COVID made this a lot worse too, because people stopped doing like in-house interviews and they started outsourcing it and using AI and not, like not meeting people in real life.
And job offers. Soon enough, it wasn't just about chasing that key introduction with an influential person like people had done in real life. Rather, the incentive was now about gathering likes and followers and online clout. LinkedIn had created a parallel dimension to the workplace, a more liquid corporate world where your false corporate persona becomes your entire identity. In the real world, you can only really humble brag and sell yourself to the people physically in front of you, and your ability to do this is governed by social convention. If you do it too much or too obviously, people just see through it. So LinkedIn took
This is actually a similar kind of phenomenon of how, how like there's always one person on Facebook. I know people don't really use Facebook. I only use it to talk to my parents sometimes. But these people that constantly post about how amazing their life is, like every single day, about how much they love their children, or like, oh, I went to the Bahamas like the other day and like it was awesome. And like Instagram does this as well, but the one that I noticed it the most on is Facebook, where they have like kind of like almost like a fake life. Yeah, that's like, it's not reality, and it's supposed to make you feel worse about yourself. Like you gotta do more, you gotta do something.
That corporate fakeness and turned it into a competition. You could now create a whole profile full of humble bragging stories and a list of your achievements dressed up to sound as impressive as possible. Whoever could rub their success in other people's faces in the most engaging way would get pushed to the top of the algorithm. It's how you can get posts like this after years of this process.
God, Gary's bragging about his wife is gonna leave him. We sat down in the evening to talk. Is something wrong, I asked. Yes, she replied. Am I working too much? I asked. No. LinkedIn growth coach. Dude, his actual wife is LinkedIn, dude. I hate these like stories that people post on Facebook and LinkedIn too. So they don't post the whole thing, and you have to click see more in order to read the whole thing. So they bait you to like read the thing.
Gary doesn't see any problems with bragging about how his wife might leave him, as he's completely invested in the parallel world of LinkedIn instead, and he's turned his impending personal tragedy into just a lesson for wannabe entrepreneurs.
My wife left me, but I'm making like $80,000 a year. Yeah, fuck my wife.
LinkedIn fully intended on creating this ecosystem. In 2015, they fully dove in, adding a social media style content feed they had borrowed from a startup they bought a few years before. This was the final nail in the coffin, and LinkedIn has just never been the same since. Before, LinkedIn had been about enhancing the professional connections you already had and extending your reach. Over its first decade though, that completely changed. The idea became for users to use online clout to get the job offers and the actual career benefits.
Oh, I have so many followers. Like, it's not about having a job anymore. Like, you could be an engineer and they take you over someone that has like 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. Even though you probably have more experience or are just better at the job or more suited for it. I hate that so much. Imagine someone is like, oh, I have like 90,000 million Twitter followers. It means I'm better. Yeah, bigger number, better person. It's just like streaming too. Yeah, more followers equals more money.
Whether that actually worked though was another matter entirely. LinkedIn still dangled the carrot of career success in front of its users' faces, even after it became a pipe dream. You could say that this was all just a coincidence. There were clear reasons to do all of this that any modern tech company could recognize. Engagement equals profit when you're running ads and trying to get people to sign up to monthly fees. Plus, LinkedIn users are some of the most profitable users out there. Lots of people are happy.
Streamer numbers do matter though, is more money. No, I'm not talking about I'm talking about the perspective of like, if you have more viewers, it makes you the better streamer. So say like someone has 10,000 viewers and then someone in my chat comes in and is like, Alana, you only have X amount of viewers. This person has more viewers than you. I'm gonna go watch them because you suck in comparison and you fell off. Like that kind of mentality that fucking sets people off.
Spend vast amounts of money
it's like
as
viewer
business
Andes.
expenses, and LinkedIn charges massive amounts for recruitment
Except this
features.
is with jobs.
So why not try and create an
worse.
ecosystem full of engaging content, rather than just an address book and a bunch of dry CVs? But it wasn't just profit. Reid Hoffman knew that changing and improving the very nature of the workspace would make LinkedIn an essential part of the modern corporate world.
What I'm most interested in is how do we essentially make products that make us much better as a group, both better for us individually and better for the system.
Reid had already tried to make a social network and failed, but with LinkedIn he could slowly build the user base and add in the social media infrastructure later on to squeeze even more money out of it.
My boss removed me from the team chat so I could bond with my baby. Clap, thumbs up, clap, clap. You know, this isn't too far off from like the dystopia that we have planned in like a couple of years, right? Like, I know we're joking about this kind of thing now, but I mean, you know, we're not that far away. It's probably gonna happen.
Once it gained momentum, it would achieve his goals of improving people and changing them to better fit into systems. What does that really mean? Just take a look at how LinkedIn has changed people and adapted them for a corporate life. Today, joining LinkedIn means joining the corporate marketplace, but it isn't a free market.
Oh my god, it's like you're branding yourself like cattle.
LinkedIn means joining the corporate marketplace.
Hashtag open to work. Is this not some clown fiesta shit? Like you're tagging yourself like a cattle on the ear and being like, guys, I'm working. I need work, please. I need to feed my family. I need to put bread on the table, please. Please help. Isn't that terrifying that they do this? This is so dystopian.
It isn't a free market.
We love
the
cheese.
entire platform is designed to be as good for employers as possible, while also taking as much of the power away from employees as possible. Searching for a job on LinkedIn is soul-crushing because of how it's set up. You might get tons of messages at first, but 99% of them aren't going to be relevant or trustworthy. Instead, they'll be from recruiters sending messages to thousands of people. They
have your email out in the public and they just spam email you, fucking scam shit. Doggy coin specialist? Yeah, crypto specialist, digital, what is it called? Digital analyst. What was that other one that we saw? Digital walletist?
Might not be hiring for your location, they might not be hiring for your actual job title, it just doesn't even matter. They only want information and maybe to hack your account if they're particularly malicious. With all their money and power over their own platform, LinkedIn could easily crack down on this, but they don't,
Digital
maybe because it increases
it.
engagement and keeps people coming back to the site to check their notifications. Going the other direction and applying
and it breeds on desperation because everybody needs a job to, like, you know, have money and put food on the table. That's what's fucking sick about it, man.
to jobs yourself isn't likely to work either.
Oh, just
LinkedIn
stop using it. It's like,
full
well,
of
I need a
so-called
fucking
ghost
job,
jobs,
man.
Job openings that get advertised on the site but aren't actually real. Lots of companies want it to look like they're always hiring. There are tons of benefits to doing this. They have a continual steady flow of applicants without really having to do anything. If they ever get someone vastly overqualified who doesn't know their own worth, it pays for itself. They might not
even back when I was like applying for a job in like high school, because you can get a job at like 16. I remember how fucking grueling that was for like a retail job. I was like 16 or 17 years old, and it was a job for some like retail women's clothing store. I forget what it was called, but I went to the job interview, and there was like 10 to 12 different girls around about the same age as me, all applying for the job. And I got to the third round, and then I didn't get picked. Someone got picked, obviously, because they only had one. And I'm like, dude, this is so fucked up. I just feel like cattle. Like, just give me a job. It's a retail job. It's not like I'm applying to be a fucking astronaut.
Even have a job opening, they're just looking to see who's out there. Today, the ghost job rate is at 30%, including on LinkedIn. In
ghost jobs? So delete them. Why are they up?
some industries, it's double that. So depending on your job, over half of the applications you spend days working on aren't actually going anywhere.
Yeah, the AI is
We're
gonna throw them
not
in the
built
bin,
to deal with these levels of rejection, constantly banging your head against the wall with no reward. But going through this process better conditions you for corporate life.
They post fake jobs to steal your data? Yeah, but why doesn't LinkedIn why don't they delete it? Oh, that's right, because it makes them money. It's just like Blizzard. They say, oh, we hate bots, but then the bots give them $15 a month in order to play the game and then sell gold in order to get people to buy gold on their video game. But they don't want to ban them because it makes them money. It's the same principle. It's like, oh yeah, we really take out the trash on this one. And then just a bunch more pop up anyway.
Lots of these problems aren't unique to LinkedIn though, they just make the situation on the site that much worse. The real problem that LinkedIn creates is based on what it rewards and how it forces people to portray themselves. Creating a good profile on LinkedIn is much more similar to making a dating app profile than to writing a CV. To stand out on the platform today, you need to maximize the visual appeal. People add insane job titles, dressing up their actual experience to look amazing, with as many big corporate buzzwords as possible.
Yep.
The amount of job
and with AI, this has become more and more common because people are like, why would I hire someone to help me with this when I can just do it for free and it all just sounds like the same garbage. Not that I think that they should hire people to help spruce up your CV or whatever or your job application. I just think that it's all gonna sound the same, and then people won't hire you because you're not, you're not lying, but you're basically not, not putting in the effort.
Posts you make, the hashtags you include,
but why
and
put in the
reach
effort
they
if your job
have
is
are
dog
far
shit
more
for
important
this?
now than your actual achievements. Obviously, having good real-world experience will still help, but it doesn't matter nearly as much as it used to. Your profile will—
I worked at McDonald's. I used metal tools to move meat-based products from one end of the kitchen receptacle to the other in order to create the Maillard reaction, so that the customer is pleased with the result. Yeah, there you go. I'm a burger flipper. I did it for you. It took me 2 minutes.
Likely get lost in the noise. That's another problem. Just like dating apps, you're subtly competing with far more people than you were before. Recruiters are comparing your CV and your profile to people across the world. LinkedIn isn't going to restrict who they see. The results are the same on LinkedIn for employees as they are for men on Tinder. The numbers just don't add up, and there are far more employees looking for jobs and men looking for women. Just like with men on dating apps,
did I not just say it, dude? It's literally Tinder.
Lots of people
there's way more people applying for jobs than there are for jobs. It's the same for women, for men on Tinder.
Employ the shotgun approach. They just send out thousands of applications to whatever jobs they can find.
Yeah, you create like a bot that shotguns it into the AI's mouth and then throws it in the garbage, and maybe you'll get a hit.
Regardless of if they're actually qualified. Suddenly you're trying to get heard and noticed even though hundreds of people are sending in applications at the same time.
If you can't beat the system, fuck them.
As you. Your application might be well considered, you might be the best candidate. But if you never actually give your application any proper thought, then it just doesn't matter. Meanwhile, just like on Tinder—
well, yeah, because they scan it with AI and then they throw it in the bin. Why would I put in effort?
The illusion of choice makes employers far more picky. They wait for months or even years for that dream candidate to come along, ignoring all the real people who try to apply. Through all this rejection and all this useless work, people looking for a job still have to keep up this illusion. They have to pretend to employers that they're happy and positive and so incredibly excited to work at such a fast-paced, innovative company. It's just the same performance that people have done in offices around the world for years. But now LinkedIn has made it a 24/7 process. Don't believe me? People even have to keep up the performance after they've lost their jobs. Just have a look at some of these posts made after Meta fired 11,000 employees in 2022.
Has Facebook gotten any better or any worse? I don't know. I think Facebook stayed about the same in the last 3 years. It's still scam AI bullshit with AI big titty bitches trying to get you to comment underneath their Facebook posts.
They'll talk
Worse?
about
I don't think so. I think in the last 3 years it stayed about the same.
how amazing Meta was
It's always
despite
been dog
just
shit.
being fired. They'll say how grateful they were for their time at the company.
Yeah,
They might
yeah, suck on my glorpadorps. Yeah, suck on that. Oh, I love Facebook. Thank you for letting me go. Yes. I hate that. I hate that you have to like suck up to them. Yo, Doomguy, thank you for 1,000 biddies. I appreciate it. Yeah, they're just literally sucking on their...
talk about the
Slurping
overwhelming
glurping.
outpouring of support. Lots of them will post pictures of their dog or their children, another way that Instagram culture has leaked in. They
Yeah,
all
that's
read
true,
out exactly
actually.
the same way, and that's kind of the point.
Guys,
It's
look
all a
at my
performance
doggo.
they're
He's
being
so
forced to
wholesome,
play
chungus.
out, just to advertise they're looking for a job again. At the same time, companies couldn't care less about how they fire people. They'll lay off thousands with pre-recorded video messages or emails.
To be fair, a lot of fucking jobs in tech companies have absolutely no fucking meaning. And they're just like glorified daycare centers. You cannot argue that. It's an actual problem because you see it all over Instagram and TikTok of people doing like day in the life of a New York office worker at Meta, and then they're just like eating like peanut butter crackers at their desk and doing work for maybe like 2 to 3 hours. They're like they're pencil pushers. Yeah, it's like actually a thing. They're like cattle.
Employees have only found out after their security keys stopped working on the doors. This is the final effect of LinkedIn and the reason why it's so malicious to people's sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
Before, being fired was the opportunity to finally leave the corporate performance
Hell
behind.
no, you gotta keep
You
sucking
could
on
let
that.
loose, take a deep breath, and for at least a little while, be yourself. But today, you have to keep up the facade. The show must go on, and you need to make these kinds of
Good little wagey. If you get banned, you have to still keep sucking on it. Dude, it's so bad. I'm so glad I got out of the rat race, dude. I'm so blessed. Every day I wake up and I thank my lucky stars, man. Yeah, I get stressed and I get drama sometimes, but gosh darn, do I not miss this? I had a LinkedIn and everything.
posts, all while having the knowledge that the terrible process of the job hunt is waiting for you around the corner. LinkedIn is only going to get worse.
Yeah,
now AI has made
true.
the platform even more full of spam. Anyone can get ChatGPT to write an emoji-filled
Yes,
post about
that's what I'm
synergy in the
saying.
workplace.
Well, why
and
would you bother
LinkedIn
putting in
will
real
spread that
effort?
slop to thousands of people. Meanwhile, LinkedIn is hoovering up all the posts and data to
Hoovering?
train their own AI models, including all the information you put on the site about yourself. If you don't want that happening, you need to leave now. Now, you should do whatever it takes to succeed, but at the same time, giving in and going along with this modern corporate performance isn't
Well,
truly
what choice
necessary.
do you have?
To keep yourself sane and to keep some part of you alive, you can't give yourself completely to the corporate rat race.
But you have no
Otherwise,
choice.
you
That's
might
what I'm
just end
saying.
up actually believing in all of this nonsense.
I'm all for like telling people to like, like I'm all for telling people to not give into the corpo borpo, but like what choice do you really realistically have? Like not everybody can be a streamer, not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Like not everybody can be a fucking YouTuber or whatever. Like it's just not possible, like statistically. I'm not saying that you can and that I don't think that you're not funny enough to be one. I think there's a lot of chatters in here that are very funny, very smart. Some of y'all are a little bit stupid, but that's okay. I'm stupid too. You can make it. But my point is like, you can't be in control if they're threatening your livelihood, that kind of shit. Yeah. I don't know, man. Anyway, go check them out. Ah, gosh, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Being a streamer is awesome.